Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I'd like to call the Sumter County Council regular meeting for June 24th to order. May we please stand for the invocation and the man standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we do acknowledge you as the one in whom we live, move, and have our being. We understand that the earth is yours and the fullness thereof. We thank you for appointing this body as stewards for the county, for county government. And we ask that as we begin this meeting that you dwell with us and that we can feel your presence and that you will help us to go through every item on our agenda to make decisions that are pleasing in your sight. We ask your blessings upon all of our citizens that came to witness local government in action. We ask that you continue to bless our county administrator and his staff for the work that they do every day to take care of this county on our behalf. We ask that you continue to bless county council, that we continue to be good stewards for your service. And we ask that you never forget our men and women who are serving our country abroad and all over this world. Protect them, especially those who are serving in harm's way. We've had Memorial Day, and there are still those that are missing in action, those that we don't know where they are. Wherever they are, we think that you know, and we just ask that you be with their loved ones and give them peace. These and all blessings we thank you for and ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
I'd like to speak a little closer to it.
Before we prove to the agenda, if they are here in the audience, I'd like to make a change to the agenda. We have a presentation by Faith Strong and Mr. Lena Hunter Ross. I'd like to move that up to the front before the rezoning request so they don't have to sit through this. I understand. Are you ready? Okay, I'll call it in a minute, Mr. Ross. So I have a motion.
I move for an amended agenda.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the amended agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I have a motion to approve our minutes from our meeting of
So
June
moved. Second.
10th. We have a motion and a second to approve our minutes from June 10th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now, Ms. Ross, your presentation, please.
First, I want to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to go first. I'm just returning from treatment in Atlanta. Just finished my 104th round of chemotherapy.
That's right.
My name is Minister Tanika Hunter Ross. I am the founder of Faith Strong, which is a nonprofit organization here in Sumter that was birthed in 2018 after my second diagnosis of breast cancer. I am a 2-time breast cancer survivor, currently being treated for stage 4 metastatic breast cancer since November 5th of 2018. And as just previously said, I just completed my 104th round of chemotherapy. The purpose of why we're here today is that we're petitioning to the county for more support because we want to bring more awareness, educate, and advocate. There's a lot of women and men in Sumter that are impacted by breast cancer. And since COVID, our organization is the only organization that provides a support group in Sumter. Prison Health no longer provide that since COVID. We meet every third Saturday at Victory Church from 12 to 2. This year we incorporated our spouses and caregivers to start attending those meetings. So we not only provide to those that are impacted directly, but also to their spouse and their caregivers. Our mission is to provide the emotional, relational, spiritual support people need when they receive a diagnosis and then after their diagnosis. The services that we provide is a support group for both the breastee and the spouses. We have a Love Mail initiative where we send encouraging greetings to those that have been impacted by breast cancer. We also do faith bags upon their initial diagnosis. We put together snack bags that we deliver to South Carolina Oncology on Lafayette, as well as to Dr. Gonzalez's office. We do snack bags once a month to those cancer patients. We also have a birthday club in which we recognize those patients for their birthdays and we give them a gift card. One of the things that we're wanting to do and want to initiate, we want to be able to provide a gas card to those when they go for chemotherapy or for radiation, because I personally know what it's like financially to bear that expense when dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis. On this coming October the 4th, we will have our annual Pink in the City. And one of the reasons why we're here is because we would like to request that the first Saturday of every October is proclaimed as Pink in the City in Sumter, where we come together as a community to advocate, bring awareness, celebrate our survivors, our thrivers, and metavirus, and the ones that we have lost to breast cancer. Another request that we have, we would like to see Liberty Street and Main Street adorned with pink ribbons during the month of October to remind everyone that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and that there's a lot of people in our community that are impacted by breast cancer. What Faith Strong has done to put Sumter on the map is we have appeared on a national talk show live with Kelly and Ryan December of 23. In addition to that, we established a relationship with Pastor Shirley Caesar, who endorsed a book, High Heels in Low Places, where 22 of our breasties shared their story. Recently, I was nominated out of over 30 applicants throughout the United States, and I recently won an award to where it was called the Nation of Neighbors Award. So this organization out of Chicago will be coming down between now and September to present that award to me, which is national known, which is going to put Sumter on the map, and a grant will also be extended to us. And all this information is provided in the packets that you all receive. At this time, I'm just going to ask all the ladies that are part of the support group to stand. As of today, we have 103 ladies and men. We do have a male breastie that we provide emotional, spiritual support to, and we have ladies that come from Columbia, Florence, Bishopville, and Manning because of what we offer in Sumter County. And that's our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ross. If y'all want to leave so you don't have to sit through the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to sit down.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
is there a way for us to ask the county administrator to get with them, see if we can partner with them in some way? Okay.
Yes, and before you leave, I just want to bid you Godspeed on all of your efforts. And I've never heard of breasties and some of the terminologies that you've used, but just want you to say that you're deep in my heart, and I will be praying for you all. And my daughter is a survivor as well, and so I'm going to definitely let her know about you all. She lives in New York, and I will certainly let her know about you all. But thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is our rezoning request number 2503.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. RZ 2503 is at 1940 Peach Orchard Road. The request is being brought forward by B&E Investments. The point of contact is Mr. Buddy Ward as the authorized agent for the property owner. This is a request to rezone approximately 3.47 acres of an overall 4.5 acre tract from agricultural conservation to general commercial. The property is actually split zoned. This is the property in question. It's the site of a former mobile home park that has discontinued. It's no longer being used for that purpose. And as it stands today, it is actually a wooded lot, and there is a derelict building on the front of the property. As I said, it is split zoned AC and GC. This request would bring the entire property into the general commercial zoning district. The long-term plans for this property, and I'm not sure why this keeps going in and out, but long-term plans for the property are to build a commercial parking lot for RV and boat storage with a caretaker home on the property as well as an office space. It is in the military protection planning area in the 2040 comprehensive plan. When we look at rezoning requests, we look at the comprehensive plan designation. I think this thing's possessed this evening, so I apologize. About whether or not the request complies with the plan. By and large, the 2040 plan is supportive of any rezoning request that would reduce the potential for residential density around Shaw Air Force Base, or that supports commercial development or industrial development as opposed to residential development. So we do find that rezoning this property to general commercial is in compliance or in conformance with the plan. Planning Commission does recommend approval of this request. A portion of the GC district already covers the frontage on the property, and the request does align with the 2040 plan. We also do believe that bringing it into one zoning district allows for future development of the property in entirety without conflict between zoning districts. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Prior to council taking action on second hearing, we will have a public hearing. And now declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this or rezoning request, please proceed to the podium and state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Buddy Ward, and I'm a representative for this property. My brother and I purchased it in hopes to improve it to an RV, both nice, area for RV and boat parking that we think would be a very good fit for that area. But we're planning on doing a very nice setup with a, like I say, a nice office up at the front, a caretaker's house at the back of it. But I think it'll be a good attribute to that area. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Anyone else? Hearing none, public comments closed. Oh,
Also, I had to ask permission because I didn't know. I don't do these things. My name is Cynthia Reed, and I just moved here to Sumter like a couple of weeks ago. And so I am not familiar with this. However, when you have the public hearing, I will be there simply because I come from Norfolk, Virginia. And there is a huge base over there in Damien. So the issues of encroachment on a military base is something that I can't say I'm well versed with, but I've been hearing the arguments for 20 years. And so certainly, like I said, this I don't even know. But I can tell you that the problem that we have had, I don't know about Sumter, I don't know about here, the problems that we have had is that once encroachment starts, and especially with businesses and industry, it is hard to pull back. And then it gives the military, they have to decide whether they want to continue there or not. And so this is an issue that I have definitely lived through. And so being that it is here, I'm definitely going to be watching this one.
okay.
Any questions for me, or do I don't ask questions? I just need to stay and sit down.
Thank you, Teresa. Anyone else? Public comments closed.
Approval, second reading. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we have second reading on rezoning request number 2503. Any discussion?
I just wanted to let her know, she said she would be a part of the public hearing. She needs to know that this is the public hearing.
Oh, this is it?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. No, that's, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for you.
Anything else? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Second reading for our rezoning request number 2503 does pass. Item number 2, rezoning request number 2504.
RZ 2504 is at 2615 Peach Orchard Road. The applicant is Mr. Craig Bell as the property owner. This is a request to rezone approximately 4.3 acres from general commercial to light industrial warehouse at 2615 Peach Orchard Road. This is the property in question. It's on the west side of Peach Orchard Road. The property behind it is currently undeveloped, and the next closest neighbor behind that would be Shaw Air Force Base. This is how the property stands today. It actually has a commercial structure on the south side of it. The remainder of it is open property. It is currently zoned general commercial with agricultural conservation to the east and west. It is in the Shaw Air Force Base noise attenuation zone, but it really doesn't impact this particular property. It just requires noise notification if it were to be a residential subdivision. Just for way of reference, the purpose of light industrial warehouse zoning district is to accommodate wholesaling, distribution, storage, processing, and light manufacturing in an environment suited to such uses. The site is improved with a commercial building that was constructed around 1982, and the building actually has a mix of warehousing and office space that is actually very similar to what you would find on a light industrial facility or warehousing facility. The applicant's requesting this rezoning because he actually owns bees professionally, does bee products, honey, wax, etc. And the general commercial zoning district doesn't actually allow for a processing facility on this particular property, but the light industrial warehouse district would. This is what the property looks like today. As I said in the previous meeting, these were taken from Google Street View because this is kind of an unsafe place to try and take pictures. But as you can see, the building is a warehouse space to the back with roll-up doors with office space to the front. And it also has a couple of loading docks on the side. When we look at rezoning requests, we look at what the comprehensive land use plan says. And in this case, it is in the military protection planning area. The military protection planning area is meant to protect Shaw Air Force Base from encroachment and incompatible uses. In our community, encroachment is primarily through residential development. So rezoning this property to light industrial warehouse is actually compatible with the comprehensive plan. Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request. We do find that it's in general alignment with the military protection planning area policies that are outlined in the comprehensive plan. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. We also have Mr. Bell here this evening.
Thank you. And now open the public hearing for rezoning request number 2504. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this rezoning request, please proceed to the podium. State your name for the record. The public hearing is closed. What's the pleasure of council?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we have second reading on RZ 2504. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Second reading passes. Rezoning request number 2505 is moved.
RZ 2505 is at 3535 Broad Street. The applicant is Naresh Patel as the property owner. This is another situation where we have a split zone property. So the request is to rezone 0.244 acres of a property from R15 to general commercial so that the entire 4.77 acres would be in the general commercial zoning district. The property is located at the corner of Broad Street and Teaberry. And it is a grandfathered, non-conforming development site. It already has a motel on the front of it and a mini warehouse facility on the back of it. So this development predates our current zoning regulations. So when countywide zoning was brought through in this particular area, it did end up split zoning the property even though it was previously developed. So as I said, this request is actually bringing the entire property into a single zoning district, in this instance, the general commercial district. The existing development around this section of Broad Street in close proximity to the subject site is in fact general commercial in nature, and the property abuts an existing single-family residential neighborhood to the rear, which is the Wintergreen subdivision. The site has been developed, and as I said, is grandfathered non-conforming, not subject to discontinuance with that motel use on the front, and the mini warehouse facility on the back. The applicant's plan, if this is successfully rezoned, is to reorient access for the mini warehouse facility so that it can access off of T-Berry instead of bringing all of that traffic into the mini warehouse facility through the motel parking lot, which is required by current code. If it is rezoned, then they would be able to reorient their access point to the rear of the property. So as I said, it's split zone. The property directly across the street actually is already brought into the entire general commercial district, but it is undeveloped. And again, this is another property in the military protection planning area where we're looking at zoning designations that help reduce the density of residential users on properties. If this property is to be all rezoned to the general commercial district, we do find this to be in alignment with the 2040 plan. Planning Commission does recommend approval of this request. It aligns with zoning best practices, and it's also compatible with the 2040 plan. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Rubin. Prior to taking the second reading, we'll have a public hearing again. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this rezoning request? Please state your name for the record.
Name is Sam Figorski. Good afternoon, good evening. I live in that development off of T-Berry. It is a traffic nightmare as it is. If they allow an entrance and an exit to that property on T-Berry, it's going to get worse. There is nobody that takes care of T-Berry, and the hotel management doesn't care. They do what they want. It's going to cause a traffic nightmare. They already have tractors and trailers coming into the parking lot off of Broad Street. I don't see, and they have enough land on the other side of their entrance to put another entrance into those facilities, the storage facilities. I don't see why the residents are going to have to put up with that. It's going to cause a traffic nightmare with trucks and trailers coming in and blocking us from coming in and out of our development. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public hearing is closed.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the gentleman's comments, and I had not thought about that, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just looking at the question for rezoning to do it. Made a lot of sense. I'd like to defer and get a chance to look at that. Board would be interested in that. If there is room, like he says, on the other
Can you
side.
put the map back up, please?
It would need a DOT encroachment permit to a second driveway on Broad Street, which from a safety standpoint is really not safe. The other issue is that this facility, the motel, is not on public sewer, so I do not know where their septic line and drain fields are. From a site plan review process standpoint, if we were going to review it for zoning purposes, we wouldn't allow interconnection for the new access to be into the mini warehouse facility and to the motel. It would be this operating independently of this, so the only traffic that you would see going into that mini storage facility would actually be people who are renters of those spaces.
And so where would their access be? I know the internal T-Berry, would they go all the way to the back of the property?
It would likely, you see where the arrow is? Can you see the arrow? Maybe you can.
Would it be where it's perpendicular to the storage facility?
Yeah, it would likely be in this area based on where existing traffic flow is.
I can see his concerns, but as of now, they don't have tractor trailers coming in unless somebody's moving from the neighborhood. You're gonna have them come in, unload, move vans and stuff in there and all. If they could maybe turn in on T-Berry and then take a quick right, get on the property and go on back and not go on back on T-Berry. That would be a little better anyway. I would still like to defer myself. I'll make a motion to defer from the side.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded that we defer second reading on RZ 2505. Any discussion?
Just wanted to ask if there are a traffic light in that area.
There is not a traffic signal at T-Berry. There is actually a signalized intersection planned for the other entrance to Winter Green that will be part of a SUAPS project that's under development right now.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion to defer, please say aye.
Aye.
RZ 2505 is deferred.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucia. Okay. Ordinance number 251028, Mr. Bryan.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this is a public hearing on the sale of Northwise Drive property from the greenhouse to the Sumter SC Combat Veterans Group. You recall that there was an initial request to purchase the property for $50,000, and there was an inclination to do that, and then the Veterans Group asked to be able to pay for it over time. And so you asked for staff to come back and present a contract that would allow payment over time. That's been done. That contract was finalized yesterday. I believe it was distributed to the council yesterday afternoon. So I'll be glad to take any questions about the contract before the public hearing.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Bryan. Public hearing for third reading for the sale of property on Northwise Drive is now open. Anyone wishing to speak, please proceed to the podium. Public hearing is closed. Approval.
Second.
The move to proper second that we have third reading on ordinance 251028. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Third reading passed. Thank you. Ordinance 251029.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this started off as a 3-acre parcel of property, and then it sort of enlarged to become 4.41 acres of property, which appears in purple in the northern part along Airport Road. So the contract that is attached to that is to purchase this property for $106,700, which is $24,250 per acre. That's the gist of the contract. It's a cash transaction, a long-term sale. Be glad to take any questions.
Okay, I'll now open public hearing for ordinance number 251029. Public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to speak, please proceed to the podium. State your name for the record. Public hearing is now closed.
Second.
The properly seconded that we have third reading on ordinance 251029. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Third reading passes. Ordinance number 251031, first reading.
Chairman, this is new business, and this is the first reading on the ordinance to approve the sale of the property. It's also shown that same aerial photograph. This is 4.91 acres. And this contract has a purchase price of $118,825, again, $24,250 per acre. Be glad to take any questions prior to first reading.
Move for approval first reading. Move for approval first reading.
Second.
Motion second. We have a motion and a second for the first reading on August 251031. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. First reading is closed. Ordinance number 251030, waste management, second reading.
Mr. Chairman, no changes since first reading. This is the ordinance to extend the contract that we have for waste management. We're operating what we call convenience centers, and the places where people take their municipal waste to boxes for recycling and disposal.
You approve second reading?
Second.
Move to adopt the second reading. Together. Have a motion and a second to approve first reading, second reading on ordinance number 25-1030. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Come down, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Ordinance passes. The Fiscal Tax and Property Committee meeting did meet today. All members were present. We immediately went into executive session to get a briefing on the legal matter from our attorney. It lasted longer than we thought, but no action was taken. Public Works Committee.
Public Works Committee, your committee ran away over time, so we had to put off Public Works. Next council meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it is clear to me that there's some folks in the audience who are here because they wanted to hear about the private road discussion. So I just want them to know while the meeting was postponed today, I'm sure the administrator will put it on the agenda for the next council meeting, which will be 2 weeks from now. So it is not lost, it is not forgotten, and we are working. Just wanted to make you aware of that.
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to add that I have been contacted by residents on dirt roads, and it's not getting any better. And it's been just really extremely difficult during these past rains. And just want to let everyone know that we are concerned, we are aware, and we are working.
Here come down the reports from council members on any meetings or conferences.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just this week, I had the honor and pleasure to visit with the Crestwood High School football team. We chatted and broke bread for a little bit. They had a pretty hard workout too.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, did you scrimmage?
Yeah, no, I didn't scrimmage. I did about 10 pull-ups on the pull-up bar, and I think they were a little bit surprised by that, so that got their attention. I understand, I understand. And one of their star players is actually here tonight representing the team, and I want to acknowledge and recognize him. Young Mr. Whit Dees, would you stand up, Mr. Dees? There he is. And that's his grandfather sitting in front of him, Mr. Whit Dees, and his dad sitting beside him. And they're all members of my church as well, so very proud of him.
Dad's not with these. No, okay.
You saved it for the grandson.
Right.
You saved it for the grandson.
Mr. Chairman, two things I want to say. First of all, I want to tell I appreciate your little article you had about 2 Sundays ago. It was a good article, but I wish I could take the credit for it. But I had to, Mr. Chairman McCain, he did an awful lot of work, and Mr. Washington on that. So I didn't want it to be like it's all about me. It was all 7 of us up here that voted to the 3 bills to the school district. And then secondly, I was asked to talk to Mr. Nixon concerning some of the stuff. And one thing, a question that came up was, do we ever edit the films when filming here? Joe, could you answer that question? Or
There's no editing. We have had some technical difficulties, which will stop. I think it's fixed, I hope. I did some upgrades. I got a new card for the camera, but I always make sure it runs in its entirety.
Okay, well, that was a question that was asked, and then I think you could answer some of the other stuff during your report. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just to follow up on the councilman from Dazel's comments about the millage for education. The millage for education will now put 2 individuals in classrooms, grades K through 3, with the thought being reducing the teacher to student ratio, which obviously can impact reading success. And what we hear from the chamber and business folks in Sumter is that our kids are not equipped and that a lot of them can't read by the time they get to the 4th grade. And so this measure will double down on the effort to help them read by the 3rd grade, because if a child can't read by the 3rd grade, you have lost him for the rest of the way. I think I got that from you, Mr. Chairman.
No, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for years.
And so, and what you find, ladies and gentlemen, is that these are the kids that are kicking in your doors at night. These are the kids that are doing things in the community that they shouldn't be doing because they don't have anywhere else to turn. They can't read, they're not employable. And so this is an effort to change what we're doing in education. And I support the measure. We'll be evaluating the results, but it was a good thing to do. And so I appreciate council's interest and understanding and knowing that we have a problem, and instead of kicking the can down the road, we're addressing the problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Washington and Mr. Baker. Monthly reports are in our packet. Please take note of that. County Administrative Report, Mr. Nixon.
Mr. Chairman, council members, good evening. I have the distinct honor and privilege tonight to introduce 6 special guests in our audience this evening. These are members of the Sumter County Summer Youth Employment and Mentoring Program. They are ages 14 to 17 years old. We have 25 of these young ladies and gentlemen, a part of our county program. Thank County Council for supporting and for funding this program. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank certainly my assistant, Ms. Dennis, and Ms. Keisha Rogers in HR. They spearhead this whole effort, and while it seems like it might be an easy task, at times it can be challenging. But really, I want to recognize these young folks if I can, and I hope I don't butcher their names. But when I call out your name, please stand up. You may have some parent members here with you this evening too. We'd ask that they stand also because, as we know, it takes parental support to make all this happen. So, Daniel Ottman, he's been working in our information technology office. Whit Dees in our sheriff's department, mentioned earlier. David McClern has been working in the recreation department. Thank you for being here tonight. Mark Vasquez, welcome, Mark. And Jalen Williams, welcome. Good to see y'all. And Kimoni Thomas. Kimoni? Oh. Kamani, I'm sorry. Kamani. Welcome and join me in a round of applause and thank you for
If y'all could stick around.
I'm
sorry. I was just going to say if y'all could stick around for a photo afterward with council, that would be great.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.
The second item I wanted to mention, obviously we've had some technical difficulties tonight, and we've had a couple in the past. So we've actually signed, as of yesterday, signed a contract for upgrades to the media purposes in this room for video as well as audio. And well, they're gonna change something else with that. Instead of resetting Mr. Bird's monitor, we've got another approach I think might be cost effective. But anyway, I just want to let council know and the audience know that we are working on this. Just signed a contract yesterday, and so hopefully over the next month, hopefully we'll have all this resolved. But patience, and we're working on it. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Mr. Administrator, so if I understand, Mr. Bird is going to get a special pillow. Pillow.
I think Mr.
Oh.
Council Garner has figured it out. Put him on the pillow.
Got it. I got it. Thank you. Which means
Cost effective.
cost of it. Well, weather so well. Wow.
Yeah, lightning storm.
I don't talk
That's
that
the
word.
thing in here.
So it's better than the last guy who, I
I think she mentioned, I don't mention your name, that couldn't see me. So a guy came up here and said, I got an idea. Remember those chairs when you were a kid, you got at the barber shop? They set that little thing around the seat to set up higher? He offered one of those to me, so.
So, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Administrator, just hoping, a lot of people have been calling me and talking with me about, you know, they stand up here and talk at public comment, and they don't, a lot of times they don't get their questions answered. And if they don't, I was hoping that you were going to provide a means of getting questions answered for them if we don't answer them.
That you brought that up. I've had a conversation with the chairman as well about this. So the purpose of public comments is basically for you to share your thoughts with council. It's not to address your questions and concerns during the meeting. This is outside of the meeting. So what we ask that if you have questions that you bring up in the meeting, please stay after, and we will do our very best to address them if we can. A lot of times we have to research and get you the information. And if that's the case, we'll tell you that, and we'll ask you to send it to our clerk via email, so that we'll have a record of it, and then we can respond accordingly. It may take, depending on the type of question, sometimes it's rather quickly with your response, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but I promise you we will respond. But that information will be displayed. There you go. It's already displayed on our monitor. Please write that down, and again, we will do our very best to get you the answers that you deserve.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, come now to the public comment portion of our agenda. Citizens desiring to speak. Do public comment are limited to 3 minutes. Comments are made from the chairman. If there are any questions, as Mr. Nixon said, they will be answered after the meeting, or you may send an email to our clerk council. So anyone wishing to speak to council, please proceed to the podium. State your name for the record.
Good evening. Keisha Rogers, Sumter County HR. Mr. Nixon started announcing the departments and then he went left. But Daniel is in information technology. Whit is in the sheriff's office. Mark is in the register of deeds office. Imani is in emergency management, and Jalen is in the clerk of court's office. And this was voluntary, their attendance here tonight, so I'm very pleased to see so many of them here. And they're doing a fantastic job. It's a challenge and a pleasure all at the same time working with teenagers, but they're doing outstanding, and they are 19 others that we hope to see before the program is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
And if I might add, without going to the podium, I want to thank you all for funding this program, because as a result of the Summer Youth Employment Mentoring Program, we just recently hired a young man who was in the program, who recently graduated from Coastal Carolina. His major was IT. He worked in the IT department here, and now he's employed in IT.
Good evening. My name is Cindy Brooks Parks. I'm back. I want to thank Mr. Bird, especially you, for my appointment to the Irish Festival Committee. I'm looking forward to it. I also want to thank the young lady during my absence who also brought up the same thing I brought about, not having information when you're not here. While I was gone, I was able to catch up on some of the meetings, and that's a good thing. So y'all don't have to hear me complain about that. And I also understand that you're upgrading your IT, which is excellent. So I'm happy about that, and I want to thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
I apologize. The administrator is in good company, but I'm not too big to admit when I make a mistake. I omitted David McClern, and he's in the recreation department. Good evening, Linda Hastings. And my question is property that y'all buying on Airport Road. Is the penny tax paying for it? If the penny tax is paying for it, I think that would be wrong. Because we have sewer system problems in the county, especially in some off of 521. I brought up the fact that about transportation in Sumter County, and I want to hear about Santee Lynch. Santee Lynch does what it does. I'm talking about transportation for the whole county, so that our children, our young people, our adults, our seniors can get where they need to be without to be dependent upon someone else. And since the penny tax does say that it can be used for highway, sewage, and some other part, I think we need to look into that. But as I'm looking down the list of what the money is being used for, at least in this session, the whole 125 million is gone. But we do need to have a talk, a real conversation, because public transportation will bring into this county better things for our children. And they don't have to leave here. The airport is fine. I don't even see why they need $1 million, because they're making money. I can understand giving them some money because that helps our county. But $1 million when they're making their own money and building buildings for a company to come here, we don't need to do that anymore. Y'all love to say Shaw's our biggest employer. That's the reason to come here. They should put their money into the property in Sumter County. Sumter County shouldn't have to build something for you to come anymore. We've passed that. That was 30 years ago. And if you take that money that you used to help fund some company that's going to bring people from the outside anyway, because I read that this county is 15.8% in poverty. That means there are anywhere between 10 to 15,000 people in Sumter County. If this county is 45,000 people, who are in poverty, which that means me. And we don't need that. Why should people from the outside enrich themselves, become better, and people within the county who have lived here all their lives can't do better?
Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, council members. My name is Brenda C. Williams. My name is Brenda C. Williams. I'm a physician here in town. My husband and I, our physicians, we've been in town for 43 years. I want to mention something very important. The Sumter County government has a role in the Shaw Sumter Welcome Center, Shaw Sumter Farms. Where do I get that from? The city of Sumter composed a document entitled Guidelines for the Shaw Sumter Buffer Property, written in 2018. The first page of it goes into the properties that were purchased with taxpayers' money from the state of South Carolina. The properties included Cal Sam Farms and the Booth Farms. Well, on that first page, Guidelines for Shaw Sumter Buffer Property, it mentions that the Sumter County government, in addition to the city of Sumter's government, has authority over the Booth property that is a part of Shaw Sumter Farms. So I said to myself, after reading that document at least 12 to 14 times, I drove to this building and spoke with the administrator of Sumter County about 2.5 months ago, and pointed out that fact that the documents that are official in the city of Sumter says that Sumter County has a role in the maintenance and the operation of the Booth Farms, part of that Shaw Sumter facility. So the administrator said to me, no, Sumter County has nothing to do with Shaw Sumter Farms, Shaw Sumter Welcome Center. So if that is indeed the case, I, Brenda C. Williams, citizen of Sumter for 43 years, want to know for myself from the county and the city, there seems to be a secret something going on with the taxpayers' money. The public is barred and banned from the Shaw Sumter Welcome Center, Shaw Sumter Farms, paid for by taxpayers' money. And we're barred, but there are special people who are allowed to go there. Sumter County officials are allowed to go there with their family and friends. City council members are allowed to go there. So we want to know, what is the truth? Finally, and I appreciate it, for a few seconds, I personally called and wrote emails to my representative, my husband's representative on county council, asking for an invitation to the Welcome Center. I understand that the city of Sumter says you can go out there public, but you have to be invited by the county, by the Sumter County Economic Development people, and by the city council. So I asked my representative on the council, who's present in the room, can you please invite me and the Science Whiz kids? I want to help those little kids learn science. The answer was no. I got no response from the county whatsoever, at least. And so again, we just want to know what's going on. Thank you very kindly.
Amen.
Good evening, County Council and Chairman McCain. My name is Jackie Hughes, and I live in the county. What I'm going to say is purely my opinion, so if others disagree, that's okay with me. I want to thank County Council for, I've just been writing my notes here tonight, for Ms. McGaney for your wonderful prayers that opened up our meeting, and thank Council that we can still, we are still allowed to say prayers in Sumter County. I want to thank our member of County Council for taking our comments seriously. Like Mr. Edens tonight, who listened to the man and made a comment, and others have done the same. For recognizing the citizens in our community. That's important to me when we have special people, and you do that well. And this is controversial, but I feel safe as can be in our county. And I know that there is crime, but somehow or another God seems to keep me out of that area or keep me away from wherever it's happening because I don't see it. So whatever part you play in that, including the sheriff's office, I want to thank you. I find people very friendly and like to help the disabled, like myself. Sometimes they want to be too helpful. Now, I allow that and thank them. But I want to thank for Sumter for being friendly. And although Mr. Baker, I understand you're responsible for this, I thank you for trying to keep our taxes down. Sometimes it doesn't work. And there are others, but I have failed to think of them in the meeting tonight. But my last one is, and I am so glad that County Council is getting along with each other better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Edens. Anyone else? Public comments closed.
To adjourn.
Have a motion on the second. Adjourn.